How you doing, folks? Today, what I got here, I got a friend of mine, their cast iron skillet. This is a 10-inch. They call it a 10 and a quarter inch. It's made by Lodge, and it was casted by Lodge, I think exclusively for Cracker Barrel restaurants. On the back side, we got home style, some ornamental writing, and I think it was marketed by Cracker Barrel probably to hang up and show off. But it is casted by Lodge. It is a Lodge 10-inch skillet or 10 and a quarter inch skillet. I think, like a lot of people, they purchase cast iron for the first time, and instructions say it's pre-seasoned and it's ready to cook. And I think they said, well, let me try it out. And they started cooking, and of course, the food stuck, made a mess of their meal. They washed it, threw it in the cabinet, forgot about it, and got a little surface rust. The rust is not too bad. It's just surface rust. Maybe a little bit of pitting here and there. Backside's pretty decent. I think all that'll clean up with no problem. Inside, tiny little bit of pitting, but not too bad. I'm going to take some 80 grit sandpaper, sand it out real good. Not down to bare metal or nothing, but just loosen up that surface rust. And then I'll probably finish it off with some 120, 140 grit. And I'm going to wash it, and we'll start the seasoning process. I hope you'll stick around. Like this video, it helps with the algorithm. Subscribe if you like this type of content. And we'll get started on this here right shortly. All right. We'll get started sanding this up. I got a towel in the sink just so I won't scratch up my sink. I got some 80 grit sandpaper, just cheap stuff. We're going to hit the surface rust, break it loose, do a little test spot here. I won't bore you with the sanding process here. Just hit a little test spot here, see how bad it is. Oh yeah, it's a little rough, but that's Lodge. I kind of like Lodge. I know Lodge is like the generic cheap version of cast iron, but I like it. It's well made. It is a little rough, but after many times seasoning and cooking, all those little rough spots, they fill in with seasoning, and you get a beautiful piece of cast iron. We'll be right back. I'm going to sand this down. We'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back. What I got here, got it sanded down pretty good, washed it out. The inside came out pretty good. Backside, still a little bit of rust down there. It's going to take me a while to work on that. But I'm going to heat it, give it one seasoning, first seasoning, and then I'm going to wash it again. Hopefully I get that rust to go away. What I did is I put some salt on there, use some salt, try to get that out of there. This little intricate casting in here with the lettering and everything. And it's made for ornamental, but you can cook on it. It's just the bottom is a little, it's got the writing on it. It's okay though. I think it'll come out okay. It's just a little tiny bit and little cracks in there. I think once we heat it up, put a little oil on there, I think it'll be okay. I'm going to dry this out, put it on the stove, the top of the stove. My stove is like from low to high, and then it has numbers. I'm going to go about a number 6, maybe a little over 6. It's kind of like a little hotter than a medium. Dry it real good. I'm going to put it on the stove top at around 6, and we'll let it sit there for about 10 minutes. Get nice and hot. You don't want it too hot, but you want it hot to accept oil. You just don't want it so hot that the oil will smoke. So I'm going to put it on top of the stove, put it on number 6, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. All right, folks, in about 10 minutes or so. Got this on the stove top, heating up. I got the oven set at 350, and we got some good heat in here. How you want to test this is, right now I'm about a 7 on my electric burner, between a 6 and a 7. You want to just touch the handle, and if the handle is hot, but it's not burning you, but you can't hold on to it, that's just about right. We'll turn this off. And I use grapeseed. I use grapeseed oil. You use whatever oil you want. I'm not going to get in a debate with what type of oil. You could use extra virgin olive oil if you want. Matter of fact, we're going to do extra virgin olive oil because that grapeseed oil hadn't been opened yet. What you want is just a little dime-sized dollop in there. You don't want a lot of oil. About like that. That's it. Get yourself a rag. Hold on to the handle. Take that oil. And you're just going to rub that oil around. We're going to put just a tiny little drop on the bottom because this is where that rust was, and it's got the intricate lettering on the bottom. Don't forget the sides. Don't forget the handle. Get the handle, the edges. Okay, we're going to stick this in the oven. And it's going to be in the oven for 45 minutes. And then you're going to turn the oven off. And you're going to let it cool overnight till it's completely cool. And you're going to do this process this pan might even be 4 times. And then it's ready to cook. And the best way to cook a new piece of cast iron is to deep fry in it. Or cook some bacon. Something very greasy. Bacon, hamburger. Just cook up a batch of hamburger in it. You want grease. You want to cook something that gives off a lot of grease. Or put some oil in there and fry some chicken tenders. Whatever. Just get some grease in there. Do that a couple of times. That oil will soak into the pores of that cast iron. And it'll get a good seasoning. My little pan should be nice and slick like that, but not oily. This is the pan that I used for that pork tenderloins. It's nice and smooth. It's slick, but it's not oily. And these are all Lodge. Got them off of Marketplace. It's the best place to get cast iron, Marketplace. Something that was rusty like this one I'm restoring right now, you probably pick that up for $10 on Marketplace. Well, we'll see that finished product here. I'm not going to put you through the process of doing this 3 times. All right, welcome back, folks. I got this pan seasoned up 3 times. And it turned out pretty good. Like I said, there's a little bit of pitting right there. A little bit, not bad, but it's nice and smooth. Rust is gone. It needs to be cooked on a few times. A couple little blemishes here where the rust kind of ate up a little bit on the cast. But all in all, it turned out pretty good. This pan is usable. It'll cook, but it definitely needs to be cooked on a few times before it becomes well seasoned. The way that I did this, I'm not saying this is the way it should be done. This is the way I season my cast iron. There are a multitude of videos out there of how to restore, how to season, how to treat cast iron. It's cast iron. It's hard to mess up a piece of cast steel, cast iron. But the only thing that I've seen in videos is some people will get their pan too hot when they put the oil on it, and the oil will smoke. You don't want to smoke your oil. When oil smokes, it burns. Do you really want the taste of burnt oil? You want your pan to be seasoned with burnt oil? That's why I suggest a little over medium. Dry the pan out, get it hot, put a little oil in it, season it up. I did this 3 times and it turned out pretty good. Probably could have used a 4th time, but I'll give this piece of cast iron back to my friend and let them cook some bacon in it, or like I said, cook a couple burgers in it, or put a little oil on the bottom, get a little pizza dough, and fry up some pizza dough, and that'll put a really good seasoning in here. I hope you enjoyed. And there's Buddy. Would you approve or not? I'll give this back to my friend, and hopefully they'll enjoy cast iron. Hopefully their experience with this piece of cast iron is not going to inhibit them from trying it again. And hopefully you too out there, get yourself a piece of cast iron. Great pans for cooking. Tremendous amount of flavor. You can't destroy them. Well, I mean, you can destroy them. You get them too hot, they will warp. But this will last generations. You treat it right, and it's hard not to treat it right. You just clean it, oil it, season it back up again, put it back in the cabinet, use it. It'll last generations. And like I said, you could probably pick something like this up for $10. It'll last generations. You pick up some non-stick, Teflon coated, ceramic coated pans, pay a little over $100 for a 9-piece set, and it might last you a year and a half, 2 years. But all in all, this pan turned out pretty good. Pretty good. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.